obviously you're working on everything, but what is like that main thing that Daniel or you like, spotted and are trying to work on and improve from year 2 to year 3?
Yeah. So by trade, I'm a strength coach, right? So I look at biomechanics, and I certainly specialize with throwers and in terms of how we're building an efficient passer, building arm strength, velocity, all that type of stuff. So I look at biomechanics and how we can improve an athlete and the way they move and better strategies that they have to achieve certain positions so that they can throw a ball harder and be more efficient with their arm path. But I also look at from a movement standpoint in the pocket. I also kind of dissect like what are athletes doing, what can they do better. Now, obviously, when you're working with professional athletes, they're already performing at a very high level. That's why they're there, right? But my job is to say, okay, here are the things that you do very well. What's our lowest hanging fruit here? What can we improve upon, be it a strength and stability standpoint, a mobility standpoint, just a motor standpoint. So with Daniel, it's more or less like he had some of those lower extremity injuries last year that kind of ended his season. So he's kind of working through some of that stuff and kind of building back some strength there in his lower half, especially at the foot and ankle. And really, from a pocket movement standpoint, he just needs, we're just working on building better proficiency with being able to absorb force and redistribute force, whether that's, evading pass rush, hitting the steps in his drops and then evading pass rush, or just, going into like a quick reset and delivering a ball. Those things kind of go hand in hand with their ability to do those things from a biomechanical and force standpoint. So really our goal this year was trying to say, I assessed him when he came back and based on what I had spoken to him about, I'm like, this is what I think from my perspective, I can help you out most with, and what I think you need to be working on just to stay healthy and build performance. So.
Right on. Um, so you're meant, the biomechanics stuff like that. Off-platform throws seems to be like the new, like, buzzword when it comes to QBs and QBs coming out. And
Yep.
we've seen like, you see this, Zach Wilson who, just went to the Jets and the Patrick Mahomes. Is that something specifically you guys work on? Like, is the, the rolling to the left or like, throwing off of different platforms?
Well, I think it's certainly been a bigger part of the game now. And I think whether you're, obviously we're trying to build some continuity with his drops and making sure like that's consistent. But a lot of part of the game now is also, like you said, off platform throws and really the mechanics is, I think a lot of times when you think of arm strength, people are focusing more exactly what's happening at the arm. But a lot of times, generally speaking, if you're trying to build arm strength, it's a lot of stuff that has to happen to self-organize and create good movement strategies in order to build power by the time you get to ball release. So, some of the stuff we do is more like med ball work and things that's creating rotational power, whether he's in, a simple like 3-step drop or if he's throwing on the run or things like that. But I think the principles that we're trying to drive arm strength is more or less being able to drive force from the ground up, whether that's on the run or, a simple, in the pocket pass. I think those things, again, they all go hand in hand. So